Are you tired of waking up feeling like you're running on empty, struggling with bedroom performance that just isn't what it used to be, and finding yourself exhausted by 3 p.m. every single day? If you're nodding your head right now, you're not alone, and more importantly, you're about to discover something that could change everything for you starting tonight. Before we continue, please subscribe to the channel and let us know where you're listening from in the comments. I'm Dr. Vicky, and I've spent over 3 decades as a urologist specializing in men's health. In my 30-plus years of practice, I've seen thousands of men over 60 walk into my office feeling defeated, embarrassed, and frankly, fed up with their bodies betraying them. But here's what most doctors won't tell you. There's one specific vitamin deficiency that's silently sabotaging your masculine vitality, your energy levels, and even your sleep quality. And it's so common that 85% of men your age are walking around with dangerously low levels right now. You see, when you hit 60, your body stops producing adequate amounts of this crucial vitamin, and the consequences are devastating. Your testosterone plummets, your blood circulation becomes sluggish, your muscle mass starts disappearing, and your confidence takes a nosedive. But tonight, I'm going to show you exactly how to reverse this decline with one simple vitamin that you take 30 minutes before bed. Now, before I reveal this game-changing vitamin, let me tell you about Harold, a 64-year-old retired mechanic who came to see me last year. Harold was at his wit's end. His wife of 40 years was feeling neglected because he couldn't perform in the bedroom anymore. He was falling asleep on the couch by 7 p.m. every night, but then lying awake at 2 a.m. staring at the ceiling. His morning erections had completely disappeared, and he felt like he was aging 10 years for every calendar year that passed. Harold's story broke my heart because I knew exactly what was happening to him, and I see it every single day in my practice. His body had stopped converting sunlight into the vitamin his masculine system desperately needed. This wasn't about getting older. This was about a specific nutritional deficiency that was stealing his manhood, his energy, and his quality of life. The vitamin I'm talking about is vitamin D3, but not just any form of vitamin D3. You need the cholecalciferol form, and you need it in the right dosage at the right time, combined with the right cofactors to actually work for men over 60. Most men are taking maybe 1,000 or 2,000 IU per day, if they're taking any at all, but that's like trying to fill a swimming pool with a garden hose. It's nowhere near enough to restore your masculine vitality. Here's what happens in your body when you're severely deficient in vitamin D3, which again, 85% of men over 60 are. First, your testosterone production crashes. Vitamin D3 is essential for the Leydig cells in your testicles to produce testosterone. Without adequate D3, these cells essentially go into hibernation mode. Your free testosterone levels can drop by 60% or more, which explains why you're feeling weak, tired, and completely uninterested in intimacy. Second, your blood circulation becomes compromised. Vitamin D3 is crucial for maintaining healthy endothelial function that's the lining of your blood vessels. When you're deficient, your blood vessels can't dilate properly, which means less blood flow to all the areas where you need it most, especially for strong, reliable erections. Third, your sleep architecture falls apart. Vitamin D3 receptors are found throughout your brain, particularly in areas that control your circadian rhythm. When you're deficient, your body can't produce adequate melatonin at the right times, which is why you're exhausted during the day but wide awake at night. Fourth, your muscle mass starts disappearing at an accelerated rate. Vitamin D3 is essential for protein synthesis and muscle maintenance. Without it, you lose muscle mass 3 times faster than you should, which makes you feel weak and frail. Now, Harold didn't believe me at first. He said, "Doc, I've tried everything. Testosterone gels, pills, expensive supplements, even those little blue pills. Nothing works anymore." But I convinced him to try my protocol for just 90 days, and the transformation was remarkable. Within the first 2 weeks, Harold started waking up with morning erections again, something that hadn't happened in over 3 years. By week 4, his energy levels had improved so dramatically that he started working on home improvement projects again. By week 8, his sleep quality was better than it had been in a decade. And by the end of 90 days, Harold told me he felt like he had his life back. But here's the critical part that most men get wrong: timing and dosage. You cannot take vitamin D3 in the morning with breakfast like most supplements. Your body's natural rhythm expects vitamin D3 levels to peak in the early evening, just as the sun is setting. When you take it 30 minutes before bed, you're working with your body's natural circadian rhythm instead of against it. The dosage that works for men over 60 is 5,000 to 8,000 IU of vitamin D3 in the cholecalciferol form, taken with a small amount of healthy fat to improve absorption. But here's where it gets really interesting. You need to take it with magnesium glycinate and vitamin K2. Without these cofactors, the D3 can't do its job properly. Magnesium is required for over 300 enzymatic reactions that involve vitamin D3 metabolism. Most men over 60 are also deficient in magnesium, which explains why taking D3 alone doesn't work. You need 200 to 400 milligrams of magnesium glycinate, not magnesium oxide, which your body can barely absorb. Vitamin K2 ensures that the calcium mobilized by vitamin D3 goes into your bones and teeth, where it belongs, not into your arteries where it can cause problems. You need 100 to 200 micrograms of K2 in the negative 7 Malawian kwacha's form. When you combine these 3 nutrients and take them 30 minutes before bed, something remarkable happens. Your testosterone production increases overnight. Your blood vessels become more flexible and responsive. Your sleep becomes deeper and more restorative. Your energy levels stabilize throughout the day. And yes, your erectile function improves dramatically. But let me be very specific about what you can expect and when. In the first week, you'll notice your sleep improving. You'll fall asleep faster, stay asleep longer, and wake up feeling more refreshed. This happens because the magnesium relaxes your nervous system while the D3 helps regulate your melatonin production. In weeks 2 through 4, you'll start noticing improvements in your energy levels and mood. The D3 begins optimizing your testosterone production, and you'll feel more motivated, more confident, and more like your old self. Between weeks 4 and 8, this is when most men notice significant improvements in their erectile function. The improved circulation from better endothelial function, combined with higher testosterone levels, translates into stronger, more reliable erections. By week 12, you should see the full benefits of increased muscle mass, better body composition, improved libido, rock-solid sleep, and energy levels that would make men half your age jealous. Now, I need to address something important. Your doctor has probably told you that 30 nanograms per milliliter of vitamin D3 in your blood is sufficient. That's completely wrong for men over 60 who want to maintain their masculine vitality. The research shows that men need blood levels between 50 and 70 nanograms per milliliter to optimize testosterone production and erectile function. Most labs will tell you that anything over 30 is fine, but that's the bare minimum to prevent rickets, not to maintain peak masculine performance. Here's something else your doctor probably hasn't told you. Many prescription medications actually deplete your vitamin D3 levels. Statins, blood pressure medications, proton pump inhibitors for acid reflux, and even aspirin can interfere with D3 absorption and metabolism. If you're taking any of these medications, you need even higher doses of D3 to compensate. Let me share another case study. Robert, a 67-year-old retired teacher, came to see me because his wife was threatening to leave him. Not because he was cheating or anything like that, but because he had become a completely different person. He was irritable, tired all the time, had zero interest in physical intimacy, and spent most of his retirement sleeping or watching TV. Robert's initial vitamin D3 blood level was 18 nanograms per milliliter, severely deficient. His testosterone was in the basement at 240 ing/dl. His sleep study showed fragmented sleep with very little deep sleep. He was a textbook case of what I call vitamin D3 deficiency syndrome in older men. After 4 months on my protocol, 6,000 IU of D3, 300 milligrams of magnesium glycinate, and 150 micrograms of K2 taken 30 minutes before bed, Robert's transformation was incredible. His D3 level rose to 62 nanograms per milliliter. His testosterone increased to 480 ing/dl, and his sleep efficiency improved by 40%. But the real proof was in how he felt and functioned. Robert started exercising again, took up woodworking as a hobby, and his relationship with his wife improved dramatically. He told me, "Doc, I feel like I've been given a second chance at life. My wife says I'm like the man she married 45 years ago." Now, let me address the elephant in the room. You might be thinking, Dr. Vicky, if this is so simple and effective, why isn't every doctor prescribing this? The answer is both simple and frustrating. Medical schools teach doctors to treat diseases, not to optimize health. Vitamin D3 deficiency isn't considered a disease until it becomes rickets or osteomalacia. So most doctors ignore subclinical deficiencies that are destroying your quality of life. Also, there's no money in recommending inexpensive vitamins. A month's supply of the right D3, magnesium, and K2 costs less than $30. Compare that to prescription testosterone gels at $400 per month, ED medications at $50 per pill, or sleep medications at $200 per month. The pharmaceutical industry has no incentive to promote something so simple and affordable. But here's what I want you to understand. This isn't about replacing medical care. If you have serious health conditions, you need to work with your doctor. But optimizing your vitamin D3 status is something every man over 60 should do, regardless of what other treatments you might need. There are a few important warnings I need to share. First, if you're taking blood thinners like warfarin, you need to be careful with vitamin K2 and work with your doctor to monitor your INR levels. Second, if you have a history of kidney stones, you should start with lower doses and monitor your calcium levels. Third, if you're taking high doses of thiazide diuretics, these can increase calcium absorption, so you need medical supervision. Also, not all vitamin D3 supplements are created equal. You want to avoid cheap synthetic versions that are poorly absorbed. Look for D3 derived from lanolin, which is the most bioavailable form. The magnesium should be in the glycinate form, not oxide or carbonate, which can cause digestive upset. And the K2 should be -7 Malawian kwaches, not -4 Malawian kwaches, because -7 Malawian kwaches has a much longer half-life in your body. I also recommend getting your blood tested before you start and again after 90 days to make sure you're reaching optimal levels. You want your 25-hydroxy vitamin D3 level to be between 50 and 70 nanograms per milliliter, not just above 30 like most doctors consider acceptable. Let me share one more success story that really drives this point home. Frank, a 71-year-old retired construction worker, was convinced his best days were behind him. He'd been married to his high school sweetheart for 52 years, but their intimate relationship had been non-existent for over 5 years. Frank was taking 3 different medications for blood pressure, had no energy, and his doctor kept telling him this was just normal aging. Frank's wife actually made the appointment for him because she was worried about his depression and withdrawal from life. When I tested his vitamin D3 level, it was only 12 nanograms per milliliter, dangerously deficient. His testosterone was barely detectable at 180 ing/dl. I put Frank on an aggressive protocol, 8,000 IU of D3 for 100 milligrams of magnesium glycinate, and 200 micrograms of K2, all taken before bed. I also recommended he spend 20 minutes in direct sunlight every morning without sunscreen to boost his natural D3 production. The results were nothing short of miraculous. Within 6 weeks, Frank was waking up with erections for the first time in years. His energy levels improved so much that he started a small landscaping business to stay active in retirement. His mood lifted dramatically, and he became social again. Most importantly, he and his wife rekindled their intimate relationship after 52 years of marriage. When Frank came back for his 6-month follow-up, his wife came with him, and she thanked me with tears in her eyes. She said, "You gave me my husband back. I thought I'd lost him forever." This is why I'm so passionate about sharing this information with men like you. Vitamin D3 deficiency is stealing years from your life and destroying relationships, but it's completely reversible with the right approach. Now, I want to address timing one more time because this is crucial. Taking vitamin D3 in the morning, which is what most people do, can actually disrupt your circadian rhythm and interfere with melatonin production. Your body expects D3 levels to be highest in the early evening, which is why taking it 30 minutes before bed works so much better. The 30-minute timing is important because it takes about that long for the D3 to be absorbed and start affecting your hormone production. By the time you're in deep sleep, which is when most of your testosterone is produced, the D3 is available to support that process. Also, taking it with a small amount of healthy fat significantly improves absorption. I recommend taking it with a handful of nuts, a tablespoon of olive oil, or even just a piece of cheese. Fat-soluble vitamins like D3 need fat to be properly absorbed. Here's something most men don't realize: your skin's ability to produce vitamin D3 from sunlight decreases by about 75% as you age. Even if you live in a sunny climate and spend time outdoors, you're probably not making enough D3 naturally. This is why supplementation becomes essential for men over 60. Additionally, if you're overweight, which many men are as they age, you need even higher doses of D3 because fat tissue sequesters the vitamin, making it less available for hormone production and other cellular functions. I've had men tell me they tried vitamin D3 before, and it didn't work, but when I dig deeper, I find they were taking 1,000 or 2,000 IU in the morning with breakfast. That's like trying to fill a bathtub with an eyedropper. The dosage was too low, the timing was wrong, and they weren't taking the necessary cofactors. One final point I want to make is that this protocol works synergistically with a healthy lifestyle. You still need to exercise regularly, eat a balanced diet, manage stress, and get adequate sleep. Vitamin D3 isn't magic, but it's the foundation that allows everything else to work properly. Think of it this way: if your body is a car, testosterone is like premium gasoline, but vitamin D3 is like motor oil. Without adequate motor oil, it doesn't matter how good your gasoline is, the engine won't run properly. This is why men who try testosterone replacement therapy without optimizing their D3 status often don't get the results they expect. Starting tonight, 30 minutes before you go to bed, take 5,000 to 8,000 IU of vitamin D3 in the cholecalciferol form, along with 200 to 400 milligrams of magnesium glycinate and 100 to 200 micrograms of vitamin K2 negative 7 Malawian quatches. Take this combination with a small amount of healthy fat and be consistent every single night. Within 2 weeks, you should notice better sleep. Within a month, your energy levels should improve. By 3 months, you should see significant improvements in your strength, stamina, and yes, your performance in the bedroom. This simple protocol has transformed thousands of lives, and it can transform yours too. Remember, you don't have to accept decline as inevitable. With the right nutritional support, men over 60 can maintain their vitality, their strength, and their masculine confidence well into their 70s, 80s, and beyond. The choice is yours, and it starts tonight with one simple vitamin taken at the right time, in the right dose, with the right cofactors. Your future self will thank you for taking action today. Thanks for watching, and please subscribe to the channel and comment where you are watching from.